Lab. So, shout out to iRobot. Okay, because I was a brand ambassador for iRobot a little while ago. I was gonna say that. Anyway, I passed 3 bar exams. So, and also, shout out to Bank of America. So, um, and yeah, and so I passed 3 bar exams. I intended to state this a long time ago, but I don't know if I want to use the word intended. But I was going to say this a long time ago. So I passed my 3rd bar exam in 2021. I passed Maryland in 2018. I passed Pennsylvania or PA or Penn in 2021. I'm sorry, 2020. October, I think it was like October 2020 during COVID. So, study for it. Shout out to Barbary, you know. But it was all because you couldn't really go out and try to study, in my place, right? Maryland also. I kind of went to Starbucks and different places and everything like that, but it's kind of like cancel, and zero sum because like I guess for everything, it's like there's a lot of noise, so I had to like kind of not bad noise. Starbucks, I love Starbucks. Don't get me wrong, but I love Starbucks. I'm just saying, like, when you study in public, it's kind of difficult, right? Because it's a lot of noise and a whole lot of stuff. And so you have to be disciplined to kind of fight through the noise and then also study and concentrate or whatever. So even if you may have heard something of value or whatever, then it's like there's also something that's of not of value or would be defense, like defense and also offense or whatever around you, and so it's all cancel. But like for me, it was all me. Like where I go, I'm the numerator, denominator, all me or whatever. So, but not I heard things or didn't hear things or whatever, blah blah blah. I got study for the bar exam myself. It's all me. So, sometimes people try to. I don't really know what they try to do, or whatever. Yeah. So data points across the board. I know multiple choice and standardized testing may be difficult generally for different types of persons and stuff. Males and females are different. I do not know. I'm just saying. But like I pretty much my entire life done well on multiple choice. The 2017, Maryland 2017. I'm sorry, Maryland in 2014 was a bit of an issue, right? But positive regard, Maryland in 2017 also a bit of an issue. On other grounds, though, my intellect was never an issue, and so. Or genius, whatever you want to call it, was never an issue because now it's like they say geniuses die in obscurity. I was like, oh, I didn't really know what they meant by that, but I don't really think they mean die in obscurity. Like, I don't really think they mean it's like they don't have nothing and everything. It could also mean something else. No, but I know now it also means that geniuses are genius and no one can just really figure it out. That's all, right? Like Picasso or Beethoven or John Nash or the guy who's in the violin where Jamie Foxx played the role or whatever. So, or whatever, genius you want to have, you want to utilize. Um, so maybe I don't know if Frederick Douglass or Booker T. Washington or W.E.B. Du Bois or any of them are considered geniuses, but or the guy says, "Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head." Ha 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 ha. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how you can roll it under. Ha 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 ha. So anyway, so I don't even know if it's genius, artist, entertainers, whatever you want to use this genius, a proxy for genius across whatever race or whatever, or Confucius or Gandhi or whoever. Okay, I don't know, or Antonio Banderas. I don't know. But anyway, I'm just saying, people. So to the extent that genius is genius doesn't mean that people like why would God punish someone for being genius? It doesn't make sense. Or Kanye West, like it doesn't make sense for God to like give a person so genius and then to say you're punished for being genius. And the point of life is probably to evolve and like becoming and knowing and everything. And I guess most people, it's not a Shakespearean tragedy, and so people will probably live or exist for whatever the reasonable lifespan is and however you interpret it, whatever the numbers are. Where people live until 800 years in the Bible or not, and if they were, can you live 800 years now? Or was 800 the equivalent of 40 or 100 then, and it's still the same thing, it's just different language, I don't really know. Anyway, I passed 3 bar exams, people. Okay, so that's all I want to say. And 1 in 20 PA in 2020, during COVID, so that I was in basically I studied at my place, and then took the exam. However, because they had different type of procedures during COVID, but I took it the traditional way, in Maryland in 2018. Actual physical brick and mortar place. I think it was the Baltimore Convention Center or whatever. So, passed Maryland in 2018 before COVID, and then passed PA or Pennsylvania in 2020 during COVID, and then I also took a third bar in 2021. I took Washington, D.C. or D.C., District of Columbia, whatever, Washington in 2021, February 2021. I think, have I ever taken official, yeah, so that's it. So that's it. So that's like the third bar exam, DC 2021. I'm not going through everything, all the minutia. There's no duty for me to disclose to any of you, anybody. Positive regard to all of you. I'm not leading anyone astray. It's not meant to be legal advice or any type of advice, medical advice, or whatever type of advice people try to interpret. So whatever, okay? But I'm just saying, no good deed goes unpunished, people. Pass 3 bar exams. And God is good. God is good. Yeah. So I think that's it. My first live, it was at 6:27 right there. So 6 minutes and 27 seconds. So God is good. I am divorced. As far as I understand it, education, like degrees and stuff, have never been joint marital property. I don't think in any jurisdiction. Okay. Just wanted to say that it's not legal advice. My own personal. Just want to say that because sometimes people, I guess, can be opportunistic. Like, oh, I'm trying to at the very first one and at the very last one, try to credit fraud. That was a lie. Okay. There's a reason why they built in checks and policy arguments and stuff, and those type of things don't change. I don't care what jurisdiction. So anyway, that's it. So, but God is good. God is good. And so, yeah. So past 3 and also Washington D.C. I have one person on here. Progress. And so on my actual who tuned in during my live. And so God is good. This is my first live, people. All you need is one. And so progress. But if I improve, it's because I improved myself, not because anybody has improved me. It just means I'm good at it, naturally good at it. So anyway, 3 bar exams in the last, so what is 18 to 21? Is that like 7 and 4 is 11, right? 18, is that 4? Is that about 4? However you want to classify it. Like it's 13, it's 5, right? 8 and 5 is 13. So 8 to 9 to 10 is 3, 4, 1 and 2 is 5. I'm doing math in my head, people. It depends on how you calculate it, because how does the days work? In terms of like when you're calculating like the deadline or whatever for when you have to file the document. Okay, how does it work, people? Do you count the day of, the day after? How can I be giving the game away? That was a lie. I don't know CDs. So anyway, so shout out to iRobot. I don't want to call it first sale doctrine. It's just like I'm not doing iRobot right now. I did make many sales when I was doing iRobot as a brand ambassador. I did sell many iRobots when I was working as a brand ambassador. Yeah. But apparently they want me to like throw not iRobot, positive regard to iRobot, but people, I guess I don't really know, or the devil wants me to throw on my back and carry a whole lot of heavy stuff. Like I'm not a 40-year-old woman, and like in order to like make a sale. That was a lie. Okay. Shout out. I am very thankful to God for all that I have. For all I have. God is very, very good to me. Anyway, 3 bar exams, or brand ambassador or model for iRobot, right? I was a model, brand ambassador, whatever word you want to use, but I also made sales, okay? And I also, I'm smart. Okay, so that's it. So I passed 3 bar exams. Pending licensure is true. But my actual degree, my first my JD, is from GW Law and George Washington Law School, or George Washington is from GW Law, right? And so, but they built in checks, people. It's from GW Law, and it is actually like on my actual degree, it does, they're like the actual lettering and everything, calligraphy or whatever, it's under the jurisdiction of the United States, on the actual degree. And if you don't get, you don't get, like the Washington Post people. So like there's more to it than that. So I'm not I know people interpret things different ways, but I'm saying don't rely on what I'm saying for whatever purposes you think you may be trying to do whatever. Assuming arguendo, because sometimes people get a little carried away. So that's it. The only purpose is I passed 3 bar exams, and so I was going to upload it a long time ago. Um, and so, that's all I wanted to say. So yeah, there's one jurisdiction. I don't want to jump the gun. I really kind of want to keep it private. I don't want to like make it public or anything like that. There's no big deal one way or the other, and they're built-in checks. And my religious belief in silly hell and God is good. You know, there's no reason for me to be upset or anything like that. But apparently, I think there's only, I'm going to say this briefly, I passed 3 bar exams. So Maryland in 2018, PA in 2020, and Washington, D.C. or D.C. in 2021. D.C. I also studied independently, right? It was still during COVID. But so I took PA in October 2020, and then I guess within 6 months, right? October to February or whatever, less than 6 months, I took DC, right? I took DC, the DC bar exam in February 2021. So 2 bar exams in less than 6 months and passed both of them. Yeah. So I'm still, so there's a process for like the bar card, and I know God's going to manifest. I know I'm going to get my bar card because God is good. There's no reason why I shouldn't, but it may, time's on my side. Okay, I know CDs. Anyway, so that's it, people. And so, yeah. In the interim, God is good. I hope I can download this video because I would like to keep it because, no good deed goes unpunished. Anyway, but like, so I think that's it. The other things I wanted to say, there are 2 other things I wanted to say. 2 other things, I did well in the multiple choice, so I guess, sometimes multiple choices, that's like, I guess, an objective indicia for a lot of people, and whether your culture, whatever your culture or race have always done well in multiple choice, if that's as objective as it can get, males and females are different or whatever, but like, I guess essays, right? I had to, essays, there's a way that essays, I didn't have a problem with essays at all, that was never my issue, but like, there's a way it works. I'm from Washington, D.C., and there are different jurisdictions, right? Maryland and Pennsylvania and stuff. Like, I've traveled, I'm DMV, right? I'm part of the DMV. Maryland's part of the DMV. Pennsylvania, I've been there enough also, if you want to argue minimum contacts or whatever. But, like, I'm just saying, like, it's still some certain things I wouldn't know. So, I have to study for them. Anyway, so on other grounds, unrelated to my intellect or capacity, just on other grounds, right? Kind of like the dicta in the case, right? So, yeah. So whatever the whatever the decision is, or whatever the I don't want to call it the adverse, whatever minority, whatever words you want to use. There's majority opinion and there's all that other stuff. Okay. So anyway, but like past three bar exams, 6, I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is 6, 5 under my belt, right? But past 3 bar exams, and I am divorced. Also, I am divorced. And my name is Antoinette Yvonne Jefferson, in positive regard. Shout out to all my guys. And I think the other thing I want to say is this is kind of the final thing. Excuse me, I'm kind of shaking my knees a little bit. I don't know, it's like nervous energy, a little bit, like people who rock and stuff. Like rock like this. Okay. Yeah, I also have, so anyway, that's it. So just pending, the, whatever you want to call it, the physical manifestation of my bar card. So, so I think it's it, people. I think it's it, okay? I think it's it. I did well on the bar on those 3 bar exams. So I guess I'll speak to each of you. I'll speak to you later, YouTube, and I'm very grateful to God. God is good. And so, and so I think it's it. I think it's all. There's a June date also. You know, June date. You know, the time for the time for I don't know about expiration dates or any of that type of stuff. Positive regards to each person, and um, and so um, so I think that's it. Um, I think it's two pending matters, and I've represented um, at least one person um, in an administrative proceeding. If you want to call it administrative proceeding, my ex, um, excuse it, you might hear the noise in the hallway. You can just ignore that. My ex from 2010, he asked me to represent him in a matter, and I did represent him, and it was great. And I've also won a few pro se cases, but I'm not doing it to like prove I'm an attorney or anything like that. So that's it. And I've recovered monies for those items, and there are things that are that have sentimental value, and so money, I get it. Money is due to me, cash and credit, I guess. But and I also put in the work and everything. But it's also there are also additional monies that are due to me, and like no good detail and punishments. Apparently, I could have added a pre-judgment, post-judgment interest in certain cases, and certain person may have a certain amount of money, and like I could have said, well, you know, because you have this much amount of money, I want to like get all of it, but I just kind of kept it to whatever I was going to get, because part of it may be about money, part of it is just principle, right? But money sometimes is a proxy for what I'm saying, for principle, right? So that's it. So yeah, I'm the power of attorney for a few cases, right? A few of my guys who have I per consent, you know, consenting individuals, you know, guys, or have authorization to work in their interests and stuff like that, and stuff per the proper rules and, you know, regulations and, you know, all in these types of things, right? So it's within the meaning of the law. It's nothing beyond meaning of the law, or it's legal or whatever, or it's appropriate. It's, you know, it's you know, it is I don't even know. It's not even like subject to. It's a private matter, I would presume. But you know, it's not even like it's. All I'm saying is that I'm competent, basically. Okay, I'm competent, and there are individuals who believe and trust me to do what needs to be done in the individual capacity for those particular guys. But I'm not saying the whole world. I'm not like that's not. I'm not making representations to be representing anyone. Power of attorney is within the meaning of the law. Like regardless, that's something totally different. It's a contract between myself and my guys. That's it. And they have the opportunity to say yay or nay, just like I have the opportunity to say yay or nay. I don't know about no females positives. I regard put them to the side. I don't know what CD is, and I don't have no female clients or none of that type of stuff. You know, whatever. So that's it. So that's it. Okay, 3 bar exams. I've passed. 1 Juris Doctor from GW Law. At least 4 LLMs, Master of Laws, which is not doing law school over and over again. You know, it just means that slight nuances, intellectual property, trial advocacy, corporate law, and then race, class, and culture, right? Those are the 4 LLMs, like slight nuances, slightly higher, slightly nuanced, that's it. But the way, you know, even if a person, assuming someone like has a practice, whatever your practice is, and you're become an expert, you have your little trade, you have not little, but you have a trade secret and a nuance or whatever, you know, it is what it is. So, right, I went to law school in 2009, so from 2009 to 2022, assuming arguendo, worst case scenario for anyone, like 2009 to 2019 is 10 years, and then 19 to 22 was that 3 years, right? So depending on how you count it, so that means I've been law for at least 13 years, however you want to put it, right? And I mean actual law school, not paralegal, or I'm legal secretary. Shout out to paralegals and legal secretary, all this stuff. But I was legal secretary before even law school, whatever, back in about 2003, right? So not leading people astray or any of that type of stuff. Back in 2003, okay? And you know, I did well. I guess I became kind of like an office manager. I wasn't office manager. I was a legal secretary, but like the office, they love me. The guys love me. You know, shout out to Dave Fox and the guy William, who was like the the bookkeeper or whatever, and whatever. That's it. And so yeah. So and then also I guess my LSAT back in, I didn't even take like a law school class. I don't know right now. But like, I mean, I'm just saying a law school class, the LSAT prep class or whatever. But I got a score, which was good enough to get into law school at that time. So I think I uploaded to check out my Instagram, people, like the my acceptance with 25% scholarship to Cooley back in 2000. I think like 2004 or 5, somewhere in there. I'm pretty sure it was 2004, the first one, but I think the date on that one is 2005, 25% scholarship. And I think that was on my original LSAT score, which, yeah, it wasn't really high or anything like that, but just, it just means like I have a legal mind, right? Legal enough, right? That's it. And if I had taken the course, and I did take the course at sometime later, within the next years or whatever. And I improved by 13 points, which put me in the top 50% of all test takers at that time. I think in 2008, and I was in Spain, Madrid, when I received my score. I was in a hotel, went online, checked my score. I think it was in December, somewhere in that time in 2008, and and I was like, oh, I did really, really good. And people probably want to know the score. That's probably true, But anyway, so and I applied to school, different ranked schools, and I got into a lot of schools, right? I didn't have to apply to a lot of schools, but I did get into a lot of schools, and some of them sent me fee waivers and stuff like that. And I'm so thankful to God. God is good, right? They sent me fee waivers, and like I had fellowships and full scholarships, and shout out to UDC, because I think I was like, they offered me a fellowship that they had never offered to anyone of color, as far as I understand. I think that's what they represented to me, right? A full fellowship, and like tuition paid, everything, right? It was great, and it was in Washington D.C. I'm from Washington D.C. or whatever, so it was great. And it's just things people need to know. But like, that's it. Okay. So I mean, I need to know. Sorry, it's nothing that everybody needs to know. I'm just saying this is thing. Inquiring minds may want to know. Whatever. No good deal, no punish. And that's. But I'm just saying this because it's my own personal that kind of thing on YouTube. So. So I could have went to many schools in 2008 after I took the LSAT again, even though I could have gone to Cooley. And I did go to Cooley for later in life for my LLM in corporate law, my LLM in intellectual property and everything. And even though it might be a slight, it may for certain people, a slight I don't want to call it an upgrade, but increase in knowledge or whatever. For me, because I study and read, it's probably exponential in certain regards. But again, I'm still pending licensure, people. So for whatever, I'm sorry, bar card for whatever the jurisdiction, depending on the jurisdiction, right? Whatever the jurisdiction is. And so, I'm not trying to lead people astray or whatever. I'm telling you right now, people, if you have not gone to law school and stuff, you probably do not know what I'm saying, okay? I'm not giving the game away, whatever, blah, blah. There's a lot to it, right? There's a lot to it. You probably do not know what I'm saying. Don't misinterpret it. This is just my own personal video on YouTube. But there are people probably who know what I'm saying. If you've not been to law school, okay? Males and females are different. You're a female and you have not been to law school, whatever, a male, or certain jurisdiction. Like, you can easily click off this video and you do not have to listen to it. Just giving people notice right now, okay? My disclaimers apply across the board. I have 8 degrees and I passed 3 bar exams. People know what that means in whatever jurisdiction. So if you rely, that would probably be unreasonable reliance, people. Moving on. Anyway, so yeah, so I 2008, I went to I guess a high school, probably Columbia, right? I was waitlisted at Columbia, and I wasn't gonna like check in with them or whatever, blah, blah, but I kind of did. I mean, I'm talking about like officially ranked schools, Columbia Law. And so that's it. So 3, I went to UW. I'm glad I went to UW. UW is not school, right? And then, yeah. So I think that's it. But I could have 2008 increased by 13. I think it was about 13 points on my LSAT, which put me top 50% of test takers in the nation at that time. Objective and dishes, objective as it gets. But apparently, sometimes you can throw out questions and stuff. I get it, right? If I'm an exception and whatever. Shout out to Law Review, REVUE, Law Review. Okay, and so yeah. I did do a law review show. I did poetry in my law review, right? Law review. I don't mean the law review that I mean the law review. Um, the in person. Um, you know, in person. Thirsty Thursday. Shout out to Thirsty Thursday GW and law review. The law review like live event, right? Where display of talent and stuff. Again, people probably will not know if you have not been there, okay? I'm not giving the game away. I'm giving away the game. So that's it. And so 2008, passed 3 bar exams, have no reason to be upset. God is good. And yeah, I've been in many circles, right, my entire life. So, not about color, not about race in that regard, And so, yeah. So I guess there are only two things, right? So I have like represented administrative proceedings, blah blah, POA and all that type of stuff. So I'm still kind of, I had clerkships in school and everything. Well, I was law clerk and blah blah, and when I was like in law school, and that's what you are in law school, you're a law clerk. I don't mean like a secretary, but that's okay because I was legal secretary for David Fox, back in 2003 or whatever. But I've been working since I was 12. I had an internship when I was 12. People, don't be ridiculous. I got an actual paycheck called a stipend when I was 12 years old. And I won my essay contest for the Eisenhower Foundation. I put the work in a long time ago. Apparently I have a legal mind. I'm not really sure how rare it is or whatever. For a woman especially, I was pretty logical for a woman. That's it. Without even taking the LSAT course. And truth or trust is probably regard to each person when about truth or trust. So I could have went to law school, presumably, on other grounds I didn't go. I probably could have gone back in 2003 or 4, even though I did, the acceptance and stuff like that. I probably had to apply, I think I applied within 6 months or a year of my initial graduation from law school, even though during my graduation, even though I had applied prior to graduation or whatever. And I was supposed to do like kind of a clerkship. I think it was Anderson, Kiel, Oleg, and Oshinsky. And I was supposed to do that before I even graduated from law school. Like, it's kind of like just go there for, I can't remember what the name of it was or whatever, but I was dating this guy at the time, and so I didn't actually go. I was going to drive back to DC. I was in Hampton. I was going to drive to DC or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't go. And so, and there's no reason for me to say anything because, apparently people, people want me to say things about, I've never been on FUCK, BITCH. I don't even know, like, why I should even say it. It's never been any, it's never been a question or issue, but apparently people want to feel better about themselves and say, well, because I'm not a privileged bee, basically, if that's what people want to know. So, but I could be, and I could defend it if I was, because, I'm not a first generation college student or any of that stuff, right? So I guess I probably have generational wealth also. And I'm a pretty brown skinned woman, right? Not for a brown skinned woman. I'm pretty, and I'm brown skinned, okay? I don't know what CD is. Moving on, people. So, and I'm sometimes close to the darker brown. Sometimes people may guys may see my heart and say, well, I seem to be different colors to different people. I don't really know. So anyway, but and especially when color doesn't even matter, like gender or race doesn't even matter. And just basically, I'm wealthy, smart, beautiful, and abstract. How other God did you? Anyway, so I did legal secretary back in 2003, 2004, and I did and so I went to law school because apparently people want to know, like, well, what happened, when you were in undergrad, right? And so it doesn't even matter, people. That's what we want to know, because it's like satisfy the craving time. Because, females who are like, well, it's not, I want to feel better about myself, okay? I'm not going to help them feel better about themselves. That's not my duty. I don't owe them anything. I'm not mad or bitter, people. So anyway, that's it. So, and it's like, what has the greatest potential? If you, truth and trust, if you're educated, and it's males and females are different in a traditional sense, how far does that go? So anyway, but that's it. So actually 2008, I had my score, and I went to law school in 2009 at GW. And then in 2014, then like bar exams and stuff like that. So I've had 3 bar exams. I have 8 degrees, and earned 8 degrees, whatever. And I'm not a first generation college student, and I'm well loved, and I'm gonna change up a nice stuff, and and I think I already put in the work, and I don't have to reinvent the wheel and all that type of stuff, and defeat some of those, blah, blah, blah. But so And the devil is a liar. And, all that stuff about paranoid stuff, pass on that to the side. Okay. But like, so, and I don't really be jealous or envious, and I'm not. I ain't. Okay. So that's it, people. So, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring this to a close now. I have other things I need to do. Other things I have to do. I have to get out of here, people. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring it to a close. And I think the only other thing I wanted to say is there are two matters, right? Because I guess the whole point is that I guess I could have like the traditional conservative way, but maybe I had greater potential, or we already know what story people want. But like so, and I don't, they say with black people making excuses for themselves stuff like that. Which way is that cut, people? And so that's it. So 3 bar exams, people. 8 degrees. I've worked. I have a lot of career experience and work experience. I've represented at least one guy. My ex in administrative proceeding. And I also serve as a POA for at least 2, and I have authorization for a 3rd guy, right? And they can elect to do, if they want to, if they want to, however they want to, the gentleman want to proceed is fine. And then, I've also volunteered and done pro bono work and all those types of things. I also had cases pro se, and I recover funds in my pro se case and in one of those cases and things like that. I have had criminal cases, and I've won them, and I also I guess I don't know if you want to call it conviction or a fine or whatever. I'm not really sure, but a speeding ticket. I called it a speeding ticket, back in 2002. No good deed goes unpunished, because I was helping, I was driving myself, and like my brothers, church brothers and brothers, right? Blood thicker than water type of stuff, back to DC, because we all went to school in VA, and also my brother's roommate. I think he was also in the car. So I think there might have been 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 guys in the car and myself. And what is how does it work in jurisdictions in terms of like I'm not gonna call it racial profiling or anything like that, but like God is good, okay? And police misconduct, or qualified immunity, or immunity on the Senate floor. Which one you want, people? So anyway, so that's it. And I think that's been expunged. I'm not even a record of that anymore. It was like more than 10 years ago, and it's gone too. I don't even know, but I don't even know if I was 21 at that time. Anyways, so it don't even really matter. Okay, people. And apparently I said, can I go to driving school? He said, no, man, you cannot go to driving school. I said, okay, that's great. Okay, and I paid the fine and move on. Okay, but and I think Voodoo went. My friend Voodoo, Brandon from Hampton, went to the court date with me, because I think I was driving him back to DC on that date. I don't know if we did blah blah, but like, and it's reading stuff. But like, he rode with me because I was taking him to DC, and so I drove to court and drove to DC. And now doppelganger staying, so which I don't know what story it is. How I'm moving on, okay? And I'm not getting lost, but sorry, am I telling people? So anyway, so that's it. Three bar exams. I've passed 8 degrees, 5 of them law, 3 on other grounds. Shout out to my granddad also, my forefathers, 256 forefathers and everybody. Okay, and so I think that's it, people. I think that's it, right? So I have no reason to be mad. If that's like a proxy for like, good enough, right? For right now, until the manifestation of my bar card. That's what I'm telling people. And so that's it, right? Shout out to Howard John Wesley. Oh, I'm sorry, Howard John Wesley and Alfred Street Baptist Church. And also, ICI, and also Jeff Tribble's church. I already know the guy. I left my phone there, and the guy goes to school with me, law school with me, couldn't even give me my phone. I already know. Positive regard though. Yes, some other guy gave it to me. I'm not mad. I'm just saying where they do that at, because the church was right around the corner from my grandfather's house or whatever. Shout out to my Mercedes Benz and everything. And you're like, who shouts out that Mercedes Benz? Okay. Anyway, I had 1999 SLK 230. Anyway, so that's it. And it was about 10 years later. So I had a 1999, 2010. I'm not really sure how that is like, I think that's still responsible people. Anyway, so, because it's like about like, it's over 10 years old, 1999 and 2009, right? That's 10 years, and I didn't buy it until 2010 or so. So it's an 11-year-old car, even though it's a Mercedes-Benz, and it's a drop top and everything, hard top, whatever, and it's an SLK 230. So I'm responsible with money and always have been. I don't know if that counts as like living as a lawyer when you're a law student. I don't really know. And plus, for the entire winter, I went without my car. Like, electively, I'm pretty sure I was like discretionarily or whatever. And like, why would I be lawless? Don't be ridiculous people and stealth, okay? So anyway, it was cold too. It was cold. It was cold when I was walking in the wintertime. It was cold, people. So anyway, um, so, um, so yeah. So I think that's it. You already know this, 40 years. I know this going blah blah. But like, so, um, I don't know if it muted my video, so I had to click off it real quick. And so anyway, so like so 3 bar exams, and they're only two pending matters, right? So I guess it's to some extent, it was on other grounds that I didn't do it, like whatever the traditional way is, going to like college, law school, blah 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 blah, and all that type of stuff. Was I medicating? I already know positive regard to ECU, okay? Whatever, and the law is designed to protect me. And everybody knew, and I didn't know what's going on. And when I was a kid, I played that goose, okay? And the guys always chose me that it's goose. And what do we already know? Blah blah blah. I don't know what TD is, okay? That's it. So anyway, and so And so it's no big deal. I have no reason to be mad. I love my guys. Okay, so it's the way it works, and God is good, and that's not the way it works. Because apparently, doppelgangers think that they are. When it's convenient for them, they independent contractors, and when it's not convenient for them, they are like, we're just employees and shit. Okay, they go beyond the scope of their employment, and like they fuck up. Positive regard to each of them. No, and I'm not mad. I'm just saying nuisance. I should recover like $1 billion damages for nuisance because it's just nuisance shit. Positive validation. So anyway, but that's it. Okay, so 3 bar exams, and I guess the two other things that I have other things to do. And shout out to the energy work, blah blah blah. Like that's not my issue, but things are just like information is tool. Everything else is tool. If people that know they don't know it's going okay. Because it's not a tool in everybody's hand. Everybody cannot get access to the tool, and everybody's not have access to it, and everybody's not entitled to it. And there are people who will never be able to pay enough for it, and they built-in checks. And doppelgangers, you are not the built-in checks. Females, you're not the built-in checks. Positive regard to each you, okay? But anyway, so it ends up against blah blah blah, and now self-hate, none except blah blah. Positive regard to each you, okay? So anyway, but that's it. So 3 bar exams. So I have so it's where I am at this point. I'm 40 years old, and so it's like, shout out to my guys. But I think that it's supposed to rain today, people, and I have to go out and do some things, but it's supposed to rain today. So I think the only other thing is that 3 bar exams. It's 2 pending matters, right? At least 2 pending matters, but across the board, I have the data points for wealth, beauty, strength, and being smart. No reason for me to be mad. 1 for 1. You say worst case scenario or best case scenario is because I guess it's like if you don't have your health, you don't have the wealth. Your health's good enough, whatever, blah blah. I have good health, and your body has enough ability to heal and everything, and so assuming what's the other thing about children? God is good. Apparently, God, all things are possible. So if they're trying to say it's not discretion, if the devil tries to say it's not a discretionary decision, then then God, with God, all things are possible. Until he says discretionary decision, I do not have a character flaw. The reason I don't have children is not right now. It's not because of a character flaw, blah blah blah. Or people vote on whatever they want to say. Devil is a liar. So the only reason I say that, people, because apparently if I've been in school for an extended period of time and bar exam, they think I'm just like one of those typical black women who was like, I just gotta, I'm just doing all this because blah 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 whatever. I already know. But I love men. That's it. I'm feminine, and I'm, even though I'm dressed like this, I'm sure you all can see my femininity. Okay, so so God is good. So I have no reason to be upset. I know God is going to come through for me. God has been faithful my entire life, and I know He'll continue to be faithful. So I will see the manifestation of my bar card. And I think it's the only thing that's outstanding. Okay, whatever traditional type of thing. Marry well and career, and money and good life. The good life. That's it. I mean, whether or not kids, that's positive regard because there are a lot of young people in my life, and I'm very thankful for the young guys in my life. That's it. Positive regard to everyone. I don't know what the word is or the sin is or whatever, but the Bible talks about children and stuff. So so whatever. Moses and okay, and so and Aaron and everything. Moses and Aaron in the Bible. And there are a lot of Aarons. I've met at least 4 or 5 Aarons in my life. Okay, and so. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, I think that's it. And we'll just probably troubles, okay? I don't see this. All right, but Getting Purple Heart. So that's it, people. So, um, so, uh, yeah. So, that's good. Okay. So, um, so yeah, I think that's the last thing, right? So if there are two penny matters, I wasn't really going to say too much about it, right? There's nothing wrong with the way I was. I've always managed well, and like kind of like I'm not an architect in terms of like a license and trade stuff, but like apparently when I say stuff like this, doppelgangers think they feel good about themselves. That's not explain themselves. Blah blah blah. I don't really know what they think, but that was a lie. Because doppelgangers, I guess they keep with one thing. All I say is she doesn't know this and that type of stuff, blah blah, and they think they like ready prepared for that one or whatever. Because I guess I give a test or something or whatever, create something, and they answer them, and they just get carried away because apparently they think that they doing thinking and stuff that they not like people are employees and shit. I don't know what the fuck where they do that shit at, but they think that they like are I don't know what they think. That was a lie, okay? If I'm God, everybody should play their part. That's it. And doppelgangers because I don't know, maybe they cannot exercise whatever that means. They cannot exercise discretion, whatever, because apparently they were born doppelgangers because that's it. That's why they were born doppelgangers. But something you can handle. Everybody does, whatever. People said, oh, that's it. Honestly, I'm not jealous of no doppelgangers or whatever. A little bit shorter. So which way is that cut, people? I know the scene is. It seems kind of counterintuitive, and I'm not mad at doppelgangers or anything like that, or thoughts, or big burpees, or whatever the jurisdiction is. Positive regard to each you. I'm not a doppelganger, none of that. So anyway, I don't know doppelgangers. Don't thought it is. I don't know big burpees. So anyway, that's it. And to the sense like it's in the conflict. I'm not mad at who's calling or that type of stuff. Or like catching signals for energy work or whether people have or whatever, that type of stuff. None of that is my issue. So, but because I get the men I want. That's it. Okay, so I have no reason to be mad or jealous. But like, for some people that's all just positive. And so that's it. But like, and to the extent, to the extent that, excuse your response, but like to the extent that like it's that's the thing. Come on, internet and like I think it's catching on blah blah, and you did good, and it's one other one. I can't think of it right now, but like that's great. But there's nothing wrong with the way I was, people. Positive regard to each you. And so leave it there. Feeding, reading, gluttony, and anyway. So, but the other thing is, or it was never my issue, but apparently So anyway, but like and people make different decisions. So so I think the only other thing is, because I'm gonna have to get up because it's 43 minutes and 1 second, 2 seconds, and then I'm 3 seconds, people. Okay, so what's the average? It's 9 people. So anyway, but like, so I just want to say that. So I'm gonna go ahead and click off. I guess in the next minute, I'm gonna go ahead and set it into because it's 43:14. So at 44:14 or whatever, I hope to be off this live. I just want to say there's 2 penny matters or whatever. Like I have all the data points, for everything because God is good. And so I think the only thing that's probably outstanding is like I have 2 pending matters. I think. But one is with, I don't want to jump the gun or whatever. And, it's not a failure to manage or failure to self-regulate and that type of stuff. God is good. And I'm not like telling people like, what do I need? And like, like, make people feel better and blah, blah, blah. I know what you know now and after trust, blah, blah, blah. And doppelganger and I don't know, it's like, where do I fall? And I'm an A-lister and blah, 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 positive regard. And people who are, choose to be, they may say, just so you know, I can do it and that's it. Because they not really B-listers. B-list is discretionary. It's not really a B-list technically. It just means that so I can do it, but it's not really what I want to do. Moving on. So, Penny Matter with Marilyn Barr. Shout out to Marilyn Barr. And, it's not about race. So that's it. God is good. I'm out like light.